Konnichiwa! Hello, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a full face using LA Colors Cosmetics. Now, LA Colors is a cruelty-free, super affordable, cheap makeup brand. I saw LA Girls and I think that I thought one of the products that I saw was LA Girls, but it was LA Colors, and then I got all confused and I found out that there are two totally different brands. I looked them up and I was like, wow, they're super affordable. So I went and got all the facial necessities and I will be testing them out. So if you're interested to see just how all these products work, then just stay tuned. I apologize if I sound really like depressing or down. It's just that time, you guys, and it happens every month. We all know this. Ooh, you know something I just realized? I did not get concealer. Or maybe they didn't have concealer. Anyways, I am going to go in with foundation. This is the Truly Matte Long Wearing High Pigment Foundation in the color Porcelain. It comes in a plastic tube and this thing is already cracking. I'm just gonna pump it onto my palette. This thing looks really light and yellow, so hopefully it works. Just gonna apply that. Ooh, it is very thick, like really, really thick. Very cold, super cold. All right, so I'm gonna start with just this much on my face. I'm gonna take my beauty blender. This is the actual beauty blender. Did a video on this. I'm just gonna blend that out. Now, I'm not sure if this foundation is going to be good. I tried to stay away from matte foundations lately just because of the Accutane and the dry skin, since most matte foundations or matte anything will dry out my skin. So we're going to see how this one works. Right off the bat, though, the coverage is really, really good, but it is doing some weird shit on my dry patches down here. I look like a fucking ghost. Can you tell? This foundation, not good for dry skin. The coverage is okay. The smell is kind of weird. Smells don't really bother me that much, but I know a lot of people claim that the Wet n Wild foundation smells like paint. Not sure what kind of paint y'all been inhaling, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't smell like paint. It just smells really chemically and weird. This LA Colors stuff smells not as strong as the Wet n Wild foundation, but it still smells chemically and weird. So if you're not into that stuff, probably another reason why you won't like it. I'm gonna go ahead and read the claims. It says, the long wearing high pigmented formula applies as a liquid and blends to a beautiful matte powder-like finish. And this thing is available in 14 shades. It's a very sad range of colors. Let me zoom you guys in real quick so you can see the stuff that's going on. So right off the bat, excuse my crusty ass lips, right here I am getting some major just dry patches all over. All here, dryness. Dryness everywhere. Dryness, dryness, dryness. Now, you guys, I moisturize my skin with like oil, all kinds of stuff. So the dryness just kind of, you know, you just kind of can't help it when you're on Accutane. It's pretty bad. So if you have dry skin, I'd say to stay away from this. The forehead looks okay. Not really. You can still see my birthmark. Since I didn't get any concealer, I'm actually gonna go in with the leftover foundation because this stuff is pretty good with coverage. And I'm just gonna take it directly on my sponge and just add an extra layer underneath the eyes. To me, this is such good coverage that you can automatically see the difference between the one where I didn't put any extra foundation and where I did. Now, I can't say that it's full coverage just because it's not covering, you know, my acne scars and my active acne. Next, I got the LA Colors Browy Wowie. As you can see, this is a triangular tip pencil. This is in the color Warm Brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to me brows. It's a little bit more waxy than an average pencil. I'm actually really surprised at this. It's doing a pretty damn good job. All right, so this stuff is very, very pigmented. It's kind of hard for me to get like the front of my brows because it's just so pigmented. You have to be really, really light-handed with this. I really like this. The spoolie is a little ginormous, but it's a spoolie. It works. It does its job. Wow. I really like this. It looks really, really good. Really nice. I'm gonna go finish the other brow off camera and I will be right back. So I finished the other brow, and after using this for, you know, this brow and this brow, it got a little bit dual. The formula is fucking bomb diggity. Look at this pigment. It is great. It's easy to work with, and once you blend it out with the spoolie, it looks amazing. I just don't like the triangular tip because once it becomes dual, it's really hard to work the lines right here unless you're one of those people who clean their brows up with, you know, concealer, which I don't like. But as for the formula, it's great. I love it. I like it. Next, I am gonna set the face with the LA Colors Mineral Pressed Powder. This is in Light Ivory. Something I have to mention is these cases are all very cheaply made. They're very cheapy plastic. It's almost like kids makeup, which you would find in, I don't know where you would find kids makeup, because in Japan, you best believe your kid ain't gonna be wearing makeup. But yeah, the packaging is very, very cheaply made, so I'm not sure you'd want to travel with any of this stuff unless you're gonna bubble wrap it. When you open it up, you have a mirror and you have a sponge, and that's, this little thing comes in here, so we're just gonna get rid of that. I'm just gonna take my BH Cosmetics powder brush. Oh dear Lord, look at this. Oh my God, that is so much powder. It is like all over back here, so use a very light hand. I'm just gonna set this all over the face. It looks like it's gonna help my foundation not to crease. It's very smooth. I like the way it feels. I think it adds a little bit of coverage just, you know, because of the color. All in all, I definitely like this. And this is definitely something you can carry in your purse if you want to, but I wouldn't advise it just because it is very, very cheapy plastic. So I didn't buy any bronzer or contour stuff just because usually for me, wintertime is the time to embrace your pale princess. It's winter, and that's when everyone should be pasty and pale. Like, you shouldn't be looking like, you know, Snooki from Jersey Shore in the wintertime. That's just my opinion. So I feel like wintertime is the time for pale princesses to shine. If I do kind of want a contour look, I will use like 2 different tones of blush just to kind of make it look like I have a little bit of dimension. Other than that, I just like to use blush. So I went and got the blush and highlight palette. This is Pink and Playful. And again, the packaging is just so cheapy, but these colors are so pretty. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is pretty ginormous. But you get 4 blushes and you get 2 highlights. I will swatch the highlighters. We're gonna swatch this like a pearl color. Ooh, we got some pigment. And then I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the Champagne color. Yes, I say Champagne. If that's annoying, I'm sorry. I don't care. So here's the Champagne color. I think the pearl color has a lot more pigment. I'm just gonna take my BS Small face angled brush. For the blush, I'm first gonna go in with this little orange kind of shade here. I'm gonna put it towards where I would contour, and then I'm gonna layer it on top with a blush color. So I'm gonna make that attractive blush face. There's a lot of fallout on this. It's not the best blush, but I mean, it's doing its job, so I don't know. It's kind of strange because it looks like orange in the palette, but when you put it on the face, it looks a little pink. What the hell is going on? I just don't think that it blends very well. Like, you have to kind of layer it on. I'm not sure I like that color. It looks pretty, but I don't know. Mixed feelings. I'm gonna take this, ooh! So that's really pigmented. And put that on the, ooh! Well, we can say that it's super pigmented, that's for sure. A little too pigmented, so I'm gonna go and take my e.l.f. brush and kind of hopefully blend that out a little bit, because that is just too much. Alright, so it definitely, you know, blends out a lot better than the other one. So moving on to highlight, which is on the bottom of the palette. The palette just completely fell out of the casing. Jeebus, look how thin this thing is. I didn't even do anything and it's already broken. I guess we're gonna have to do without the case, and I'm just gonna have to hold this thing up. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. highlighting brush and I'm gonna take one sweep, and let's see y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and take one more sweep. It's coating the brush really well, so I don't know what's going on here. Okay, there we go. So you just kind of need to layer it on just a bit. I'm gonna go and take the more pearly color and just take one swipe. Oh yeah, the pearl one is definitely a lot more pigmented. Ooh. Okay, so if you want a super highlight, then go with the pearl color. But if you want a more natural highlight, go with the champagne color. It is just so pigmented. It does leave kind of a white strip though, so I'm not really sure I like it. I have mixed feelings about this. The packaging is just poop, let's just say that. The blush is okay. I will say they're super pigmented, just a little bit patchy. Right, so next is gonna be the eyeballs. I have the eyeshadow palette right here. This is the Sweet 16 eyeshadow palette in Brave. This retails for $6. You get matte, shiny, and shimmer shades. I'm gonna take my eyeshadow brush from BH Cosmetics. First, I'm just gonna lay down this light beige color, pinky beige. Just like the rest of everything, this has a lot of fallout. It's very powdery. We're gonna see how it applies on the lids. Yeah, it's just a very pale, pinky, white, off-white eyeshadow. That's all I gotta say about that color. So I'm gonna just take the same brush and I'm actually gonna go into this, I don't even know, it's like a cool rose color. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that all over the lid. This is not very pigmented at all. I've probably dipped my brush in several times and it's just taken a lot to build up. This is probably 4 or 5 layers worth of eyeshadow and I'm just really not getting any color. It's really hard to blend as well, but we're just gonna keep it moving. Next, I'm gonna take my BH Cosmetics large blending brush and I think I'm gonna go in with this top color right here and just kind of try to get a little bit more color for the transition shade. Yeah, these just are not really all jet pigmented. Really not working out here. It's very, very patchy. Not blending very well. I'm gonna take my domed blending brush and I'm gonna start kind of going in with the dark colors and I'm gonna add a little bit of this dark brown color right here on the outer. Woo! Holy powder. And this one is a little more pigmented than the others, but again, not that much. Okay, there we go. So I guess if you dip it in and not tap as much, basically just get a bunch of powder on the brush, it works. There's pigment, but then it's hard to blend. I feel like I have been sitting here my entire life blending this shit out. So this stuff is just, I'm just really not into it. I'm just really not liking it. I'm gonna take the same brush and I'm gonna take this dark shimmer shade right here. It's kind of a purple. Ooh, maybe it's not a purple. I mean, it's pretty pigmented on the finger. And yeah, it's really pigmented on the back of the hand. Ooh, I'm going in with that color. It's kind of like a copper. It's so weird because it looks nothing like it does in the palette. So I'm gonna take that on here. This stuff is just not applying very well with a brush. I'm just not a big finger that sounded horrible. I'm just not a very big finger user because I don't have a lot of space, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the pinky and apply it. Okay, so it definitely applies better with a finger, but still just not liking it. Ugh. This is very uncomfortable to get this side. I just don't feel like you should be putting in this much effort to be getting some pigment. I'm gonna take this champagne color right here. This is another shimmer, and I'm gonna apply that on my lid. I'm just gonna go ahead and take clean, be a small brush, and try to just blend this together in the middle. Okay, so something weird just happened. Usually when I have two colors, I like to take a clean brush and just kind of blend the middle out. And as I was blending it, the brush basically just picked off the eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna stop right here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the bottom. Disappointed. That's what I think about this palette. This palette is just, it's disappointment in a palette. The next thing I will be using is mascara. This is the Mega Dramatilash. The brush is one of those brushes that I really like. I'm not really into the rubbery brushes because I feel like those don't really coat my lashes. So I zoomed you guys in to do the mascara. Of course, gotta have my lash guard. I honestly just cannot do lashes without this thing. I don't feel like it's lengthening that much. After I curl my lashes, these are actually kind of weighing them down. They don't look as curled as they were before. So that to me is just a big no because my lashes are already short enough. I don't need them to be weighed down to look straight. So I will definitely not be wearing this mascara. You can see it has made a really big mess, and I even use my lash guard underneath. So the fact that it's making a mess right underneath there is just, it's just a no. Last but not least, lipstick. These again, very cheap, very cheap. These are like the ones like while you're applying it, it'll probably go down type of cheap. So I have 3 shades here. Now this shade, I am not into like these orangey shades. Online it looked a little different, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this. This is the matte one in the color Caramel Cream. As you can see, it is very orangey looking, not into that. Swatch it. It's very creamy, but very orange. The next matte color that I have is Petal. This is a lot more of my type of color that I like to use. Just swatch it. This is another lip color that I got in the shade Dusty Rose. Hopefully this is also in my shade range. So I'm just gonna stick with the Petal color and see how that works. Now this is very creamy, but I am not getting a lot of pigment. This is like very crusty feeling. So this lipstick is just boo-boo. I don't like it. Literally one swipe and it comes right off. Unless you plan on not eating or drinking even a sip of fucking water, don't even bother. This stuff is just, it's basically just a dryness accentuator. Aquaphor to the rescue. All right, to sum it all up, lipsticks, no, absolutely not. We'll never wear them again. The eyeshadow palette, probably not going to reach for this again as well. Probably gonna go in the donation box. As for the mascara, no. That's all I gotta say for it, no. The pressed powder, I actually really enjoyed this. The under eyes look amazing, they look beautiful, and it didn't enhance my dry patches, which normally most other powders, after you put your foundation on and you set it with a powder, it will enhance any dry patches that you have. But my dry patches just stayed dry. This palette, or whatever's left of it, the highlighter and the blush, I mean, it's hit or miss. I don't know. I do really like the Champagne color right here. As for the pearl color, it just kind of leaves like a white strip on your face. For the blushes are very pigmented, but they are kind of patchy. So you're kind of giving one up for the other. This, for dry skin, absolutely not. If you have any kind of dry patches, I would not recommend this for you at all. It's just like a dryness enhancer. This thing will enhance anything dry on your skin. As for coverage, it is really great high coverage foundation in my opinion. I cannot wait to try this when I'm off of Accutane because this has such great coverage. Now, as for the smell, I'm really not big on the smell. The smell is just a little off to me, but I'm not one to be bothered by smells, and after you apply it, it doesn't smell at all. So for that, I'd say if you're really sensitive to smells, probably not the product for you. If not, then go ahead and try it. My most favorite thing out of this entire thing was the eyebrow pencil. I like the formula. I like the way it blends with the spoolie. The one thing that I wish I could change is that it wasn't a triangular tip. I wish that it was more of a pencil tip. Once you use the tip long enough, it kind of just gets dual and it's just really thick and big. So love the formula, just don't like the shape of the applicator, I guess you would say. I would say that the pressed powder and the eyebrow pencil are my two favorite things out of the entire collection. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. If you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you simply just want to talk shit, leave it all in the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!